Hi, ho everyone. My name is Mr. Fruit, and welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast. In today's episode, we have with us two guests because Rob is away in Florida for the GCX.
2-for-1 special.
That's right. Not just one,
People heard my voice and they clicked off.
but 1.5 because we got Blessious and Joey.
One, not just two, 3 white guys.
That's right.
They're taking over.
But they all have very differing opinions. All right, I will say that.
We all have very different stories. I'll say that.
Yeah. In today's episode,
we have different stories. This podcast.
Oh yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. Your boy here, tripped balls, and I've been doing it for this medicinal clinic thing. You guys can hear all about that.
I almost died? Question mark. And had a go-gurt? Question mark.
And we hear Bless's autobiography, the experience, actually it's a really potent autobiography, I must add.
Yeah. You're gonna have to strap in for Bless's.
Yeah. The episode kind of goes like emotionally, so you just gotta hold on.
So if you have any acid available, this might be the
still not condoning. That's not. It's
okay.
When things get heavy, just let out a sheesh.
Yeah, sheesh.
Yes.
Oh, I feel better now. Okay,
this is a sheesh episode.
My anxiety, it's gone.
Hope you enjoy.
Let's get into it. Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
From cringing at the pump to getting an eye-popping check at your favorite restaurant, inflation is hitting us where it hurts. And it really, really hurts. That's why I started using Upside. Upside is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or dines out. With every purchase, I'm earning cash back thanks to Upside. It's so easy and convenient to use the app. I love it. To get started, download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play Store. Use my promo code GG, and get $5 off or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Next, claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. Check in at a business, pay per usual with credit and a debit card, and get paid. In comparison to credit card, rewards, or loyalty programs, you can earn up to 3 times more cash back with Upside. Download the free Upside app and use promo code GG and get $5 off your cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's $5 or more cash back on your first $10 or more purchase using the promo code GG. Thank you, Upside, for sponsoring this podcast and helping us turn these inflation times. Those big wireless providers forget that families come in all shapes and sizes. That's why Mint Mobile decided to shake up the wireless industry with their brand new modern family plan. Each line starts at $15 a month, and you only need 2 lines to get started. No matter how big or small your family is, you deserve to save on your wireless service. Mint Mobile showed me that Sydney and I could be saving $65 a month on both of our phone payments just by switching to this family plan. For everyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers wireless for just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Plus, Mint Mobile's modern family plan lets you mix and match data plans so everyone gets the amount of data that's right for them. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and get the same phone number along with your existing contacts. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless services starting at $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, including the modern family plan, go to mintmobile.com/GG. That's mintmobile.com/GG. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/GG. Sweaty sack summer is approaching, and it's time for you to prioritize the comfort of your crotch. That's why the kings of crotch comfort, Manscaped, has spent 2 years designing the most comfortable boxer briefs out there. I've had the honor of testing out these new boxers, and I can say it's the softest fabric of any underwear. It's so comfortable, it feels like it's gills for your groin. They have trademarked the jewel pouch, so you know it's serious. I think it's time for you to invest in your family jewels, so let your bulge breathe and get 20% off plus free shipping by using the code GG at manscaped.com. Trust me, there's nothing more important than feeling comfortable while I'm streaming, and these boxers make me feel so comfortable while I'm streaming. Most kind of make me sweaty and stuff, but these are so comfortable. It's like I'm not even wearing them. Let's say you're on a date and your partner catches the Manscaped on the waistband of your underwear. It's almost a guarantee to raise some eyebrows and act like a billboard on the highway to Pleasure Town. The Jewel Pouch is a pouch designed to cradle your boys in their own special place, lined with perforated performance fabric to keep them well ventilated. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code GG at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code GG at manscaped.com. Once the Boxers 2.0 touch your sack, you'll never look back. No one likes waiting on a paycheck, especially when you got bills due. Good thing there's Chime. Now you can get your paycheck up to 2 days early with direct deposit. That's up to 2 days more to save for bills, pay bills, and generally just feel good about your money situation. But Chime is more than just about getting paid early. It's also an award-winning mobile app, checking account, debit card, and optional savings account. I could do so much with having my check 2 days before I normally get it. That'd be sweet. So what are you waiting for? Hopefully not your paycheck. Get started with Chime today. Applying for a free account takes less than 2 minutes. Get started at chime.com/GGoverEasy. That's chime.com/GGoverEasy. Banking services and debit card provided by The Bank Corp and Stride Bank NA, members FDIC. Early access to direct deposit funds depends on payer. What I also love about Chime, it's also a big credit builder. So thank you again, Chime, for sponsoring this podcast. Please go to chime.com/GGoverEasy. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Life can be overwhelming and many people are burned out without even knowing it. Symptoms can include lack of motivation, feeling helpless or trapped, detachment, fatigue, and more. I mean, as a content creator, burnout is something we go through like every other day, I feel like. And it's something that with a lot of therapy, I've learned how to deal with it and how not to deal with it. We associate burnout with work, but it's not only the cause. Any of our roles in life can lead us to feeling burned out, and BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone can help you figure out what's causing that stress in your life. And with my time at BetterHelp, I figured out what was causing my burnout, and it was just me not really listening to my body and trying to do stuff that wasn't really good for me. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you do not want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and GG Over Easy listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/GG. That's BETTERHELP.com/GG.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to GG Over Easy podcast, episode 137.
38.
30. I don't actually know. Hold on. It's been a journey for me.
At this point, do episode numbers even matter? It's like Destiny seasons. Do we really need to know it's the 17th one?
True. It might be 136. It might be 137.
In the 130s. Welcome back to the 130s
whatever.
episode.
Welcome back. Yeah, at this point we should stop. I'm only going to say the number when it's some sort of a significant number because, yeah, otherwise it's every week it's like you would think I'd remember what episode it is, but it didn't because we're here. And we got special guests, as you've already heard, because resident Rahabi V is at BCX in Florida right now. So instead, we have myself and Blue and
Hi.
our guests, AboutTimeJoey and Blessious.
Hello.
I'm halfway through this Go-Gurt. Hold on.
Yeah, the remnants of Cosmic Couch podcast.
The remnants, yes.
Hey, we're making the return, baby. All right, it's in the works.
It is
slowly,
but it's not on Spotify anymore.
But surely it's not on Spotify. Well, no,
that's because we're doing some hype up stuff for it, man.
Right. Sorry.
Whoa. We're not gonna. We're heavily NDA'd. We can't get into this.
Yeah, listen, we can't get into
my lawyers.
Right now.
He's already calling me. I gotta.
The Cosmic Couch is back. We got like Jimmy Fallon coming in. It's gonna be like a whole.
Katy Perry's a musical guest.
It's gonna be.
Real talk. What happened to Katy Perry?
Last thing I know is she did a song for Pokemon.
She was like just super iconic and always talked about, like a couple years ago, especially like 10 years ago. I couldn't tell you what she's doing.
I think she kissed a girl and she liked it.
I feel like that's happiness with you, Mr. Fruit.
But also true. Yeah. Well played.
Mm-hmm.
On the docket today, we got some stuff we'll get to, some stuff we probably won't get to, and then some stuff we'll talk about that we probably didn't plan to talk about. This is GG Over Easy podcast.
Yes, sir.
We should start out. There was a week we didn't have a podcast. That was because Rob was dying of some stomach illness.
Oh yeah.
I was in urgent care because I too was dying. So it was kind of like it's a wash. But now we're back, and I say we're back, but like I'm 50% here right now. The world's kind of
Mr. Fruit is
spinning.
high off his ass for the first time live and on camera.
Not right now.
There's your title for the podcast.
Yep.
But
Mr. Fruit got high?
no, I didn't. I tripped balls, dude. So I did want to address first, because like a little rough for me. I started ketamine infusion trials this week.
Such a crazy sentence.
Yeah, which
I don't
for
even know
those
what
that
entails.
those that aren't aware, and some people still don't realize too, ketamine actually has some really beneficial medicinal uses for mental illnesses, especially depression. And your boy here has run the gauntlet on just about everything to help with his depression, and nothing's helping. So we're on to the next thing, which is ketamine infusion trials. And it's if you've ever heard of microdosing, most people think of psilocybin these days, like shrooms. But microdosing is used with a lot of other things, and ketamine has been studied and used actually for way longer.
I like how Joey doesn't care and he just left.
Yeah, that's totally fair. So I started, and the idea with ketamine infusion is it's shown to specifically also help drug-resistant depression, which mine certainly is. I've tried just about every antidepressant there is. So generally, it helps your system be more receptive to those medicine, and long-term, the point of ketamine is there's like a dissociative episode part of it, which is the trip. But what they've shown is it kind of like resets the brain in a way that it resets your pattern of thinking. So the goal is it's not a permanent effect. Usually wears off a couple weeks or months. Depends on some people. But the idea is during that time to rebuild your ways of thinking and like being able to get yourself out of a rut and then into like a different structure. And then if it does end up working, people will come back every now and then for like certain doses. So that's the goal of it. And I also tweeted it out that I was doing that, and I appreciate all the random internet people who know nothing about me giving me all the advice.
Of course.
Appreciate that.
You
Of course.
tweeted it out that
Right.
you're asking for it.
Right. So thank you. Because that's the thing too, though. I really appreciated people trying to talk about substance abuse and like hard drugs. And I was like, do you know who you're talking to? Because
You could not find a less.
up until Tuesday, when I got my first dose, your boy hadn't even been drunk. There's been no part of my life where I have not all consciously been there unless it was for like a medical procedure. So I had never had an experience like that. And now, if you don't know, I know.
My gosh,
I know.
the puppies are popping off.
They're like, why didn't we get ketamine? It is a psychotic. So you trip a little bit.
Mr.
And
Fruit texted us. He's like, "Boys, I love you, man. You guys are the best."
Yeah,
dude.
man.
well, see,
Video games are so
I
cool.
wouldn't be here without you, Joey. Like,
that's weird. No, were you tripping? So what a lot of people also don't understand about it is the point is it's a microdose. So I forget like what my dosage was. It's based off my weight, but it's like 38 milligrams, I think, is what I got.
wow. That's
And
nothing.
it's all super controlled. I go in. It's actually very relaxing. They have like nice recliner chairs. You recline back. They give you a warm blanket, a little pillow, and then they IV the ketamine. And it goes through a drip system that operates for about 45 minutes.
Dude, this sounds like a chill weekend.
Well, it's been a chill week. It slowly starts, so then you like kind of ease into it, and then they ease you out later. You're blindfolded, and then you have headphones, and they're playing this weird music that's not really music. Yeah, when they explained it, I was like, "What is it?" And it's like AI music, essentially,
AI music?
Whoa.
like algorithm,
Mushroom music.
kind of, yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of it was
Throat singing.
A lot of it's a lot of like random acoustic noises and stuff, which sounds really weird, but it was so peaceful. It's like at all times there's like a slight drone in the background, kind of like a soft little. Even just listening to it is kind of like whoa, and then none of the noises really make sense until you're in there. And so your boy went
jump
from
scare halfway through just to wake you up.
That's what so the weird thing is I had no experience. I hopped in there and then straight up your boy trip balls for about 50 minutes, whatever, during that time. And the thing though is like and then I come out though and then it's gone. Like there's no trip the rest of the time. So I kind of trip for that and then I come out of it. And like right now I'm just feeling like the after effects, like the world is still kind of moving.
So how long ago was this? What day was this?
Well, so I did 3 doses: Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Oh, so yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I have 3 more: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Which, it's a lot. So
you're ready.
Well,
did
more
you,
or less.
See any cool hallucinations? Like, did you see like
my brother in Christ? I saw Christ.
Oh,
I saw the whole world, man.
God.
Did he say it? Did he say it's Morbin time?
He did. I was like, say the thing. Say the thing.
Biblically accurate Morbius.
And so the weird thing is like I had nothing to base off of. I had no idea what I was going into, and like the way I've ever heard somebody explain a trip makes a lot more sense now. It's like it's an out of body experience. It's like I was flying around everywhere.
Wow.
But I didn't really have a body. Colors everywhere. Colors all the time. And then it was also super like existential. And it was bizarre because the best way I could explain what the trip felt like was like if you've ever lucid dreamed.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so for those who also don't know, like when you're dreaming, if you've ever been in a dream and realized you're dreaming, it's considered lucid dreaming, and then you like try and control it or whatever. Well, imagine that, except you're awake. And then it's even crazier.
So you could be like, there's stairs, and stairs suddenly appear?
Oh, I could do some weird stuff. And the thing is...
But you saw it. It was like IRL to you.
Yeah. But my eyes were closed, too. It was crazy.
I never thought I would hear the day where Mr. Food is like, yo, you guys gotta get on these hard drugs.
That's okay. For the record, that is not what I'm saying.
Ketamine, man.
That is not what I'm saying. That's another thing too, though. People don't realize it's like this kind of ketamine. It's not addictive. It's just like everything else. Some people get it.
3 more doses, sure, Mr. Fruit. Like, it's not addictive.
What's ironic
I can stop whenever
is
I want.
I don't really want to go back, but like in order to get because like honestly, aside from the trip, it takes a lot out of you, and like this is over 24 hours since my last one, and I'm still kind of out of it. But I don't remember what I was talking about. But yeah, so tripping balls, and the weird thing is because it also eases you in. I was pretty lucid at the beginning too. I'm like, I don't really notice anything, and then there's just like times you come in and out of like realizing where you are.
Man.
And it was essentially that. My eyes were closed, but I just saw colors everywhere. Like, imagine when your eyes are closed and like somebody like in a dark room and somebody opens up a door and it gets really bright. That's what it was, but there was nothing. So like, I was like, I'm out of this.
I love how this is baby's first acid trip, and he's just like, bro, I saw the universe, and I'm just like,
Nice.
Aw.
Well,
do you think you've seen anything yet?
Well, and that's
Did you
the
see
thing,
like a
though.
past life or anything, dude?
I can get into some of it. It's really weird.
I predicted it.
Well, not quite past lives, but when I came out of it, though, all I can think of is one, like that was a trip in a very controlled environment with controlled variables and stimulation.
Imagine having incredible amount of stimulants.
Imagine if you were in like a field and there was ants crawling.
Yeah, like,
oh god,
I can't even
Next
think of
that. No.
I can't even think of doing that without a blindfold, much less stuff going on. And then that's the other thing too is I was thinking like people listening to music that's not what I was listening to, that would freak me out.
Oh yeah,
because
dude,
like
listen to some 3 Days Grace.
I listen to like any music now. It's like, imagine you're listening to this, everything's way too fast. I'm like, whoa, let's.
But imagine if you were listening to anime music though.
Dude.
Oh my god, the Demon Slayer OP on acid, that'd be wicked.
And so the music was crazy because it was, and it did.
Is this your French toast?
No, we just got something in the mail.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Oh my god.
For listeners that don't know, Mr. Fruit bought the obscenely expensive big Arcanine plush.
That is so large.
Is it really?
That's
Did he really buy the?
Look how big that is.
What do you mean? Are you looking at this? Are you seeing this?
Oh my god, that thing is.
If you're an audio listener, what an L day to be an audio listener.
Dude,
Like,
is the
oh my
Arcanine talking?
I gotta cut out all my audio.
Crazy. That is so big. How much was that? Price range?
I don't remember because we bought it like 2 years ago, and then that was the thing is we thought it just like
he just clicked by and he was like, yeah,
sure.
I thought it was like never coming. Yeah, and that is like a 5-foot Arcanine or something.
Yeah, that's large. It's life size.
Yeah, we pre-ordered it, and I guess here it is.
Well,
well, I wasn't tripping there.
Actually supplied.
What the fudge? Oh yeah, so like stimulation and stuff. So then I also could understand too, like how a bad trip could just mess you up.
Yeah.
Because like coming out of it, and with the music they had, it was very like enlightening and zen. And then I'm thinking like because time also felt like it went so slow. Yeah. So if that had been a bad trip, I could imagine coming out and being like, "What the?"
Imagine if your doctor's appointment they didn't pay their Spotify ads, so halfway through,
yeah,
want to break from the ads, and you just like,
want to break from the ads,
want to break vegetables from crap.
So yeah, it was very interesting. Like that's what people don't realize though. Is like so that part of the ketamine. The trip happens, whatever, but that's really not the takeaway and the benefit of it. It's what it's supposed to do in the future. And that's why you do like 3 doses here and then like 3 doses there. So that's how you get the biggest benefit. Yeah, it was bizarre. But it also was so nice.
yeah.
I was so nice to myself. Yeah, because the thing is, coming in and out of it, like in control. You're always floating through like imagine, like Doctor Strange, Multiverse Madness.
Uh-huh.
When he's like pew, 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 going through all the universes.
Okay.
That's essentially what it felt like. Like
cool.
Except
you were in the Paint universe for a second?
Except most of it's the Paint universe. In a sense. But like instead of paint, it's a lot of shapes. A lot of obscure things, and patterns all the time. And
a lot of people are going to be listening to this like, maybe I am more depressed than I.
Maybe I am depressed. Hey,
that was cool, man. I don't know. Even I'm kind of like, hold on. Maybe Prozac isn't doing it.
Hey, Doc, you got any of that ketamine?
It's also very expensive, so you could get a real trip for much cheaper.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. So, but so when I'm under it though, like this prominent thing that kept happening was like I was catching myself talking to myself, but in third person, and it always felt like there were more of me. Like, I wasn't the only one, right? Or that like there's this weird part where like I was thinking and like had this realization that like the me you're listening to right now and the one talking and the one that was thinking is only one little part of me. And then I like saw my brain, and then that little part of the brain that was me like got picked up out of it. And then it was like the rest of your brain, and then there was a whole bunch of me. And you're like, we're all you.
Like he saw you.
Yeah, everywhere.
And
And
fruit first. Oh my god.
it was crazy. And then but then we were so nice to each other. It was so great. Like I was so nice to myself. Because I think that's one of the things too, is like if I'm out of it and subconscious, like what's gonna happen? And I was sitting there and we're like, we love ourselves. We are worthy.
Damn.
And yeah, when we go through, it was super existential, and I came out like, what the fuck?
Thanks, guys. Like,
yeah,
wow.
and
It sounds like a union meeting, but like,
yeah, it was something like that. It was something
we
like
are
that,
worthy.
but across a lot of them, yeah, that was always the theme. But I remember like a couple weird ones was like I was at the top of my spine, and again I was thinking about like
Osmosis Jones style.
Well, imagine like
cut,
my whole body was made out of like those like impulse veins, whatever you can see like on certain
nervous system charts.
Right.
Oh, like
kind of like that, yeah. It was like a cosmic nervous system. And then the spine wasn't a spine, but it was like this black hole vortex thing. And I was at the top of it, but I knew it was a spine. Yeah, it was bizarre. But I was sitting there and I was like looking up, and it, like my brain was empty because the brain was gone and I was supposed to be the brain. And then that's when I was like, wait, who are you? And then there turned out to be somebody else there that like turned my head.
Morgan.
And instead of going like one way to like take over my body, this being like threw me down my spine and through the black hole. And then I just kept hearing like, you're not in control. And I was like, what the fudge? And I went down the black hole. And then I found this cosmic being who felt like God. And
on a couch, say it.
No, not on a couch, unfortunately. I was in the cosmos, though. I was in the cosmos.
So cosmos, like the universe, like
yeah, I was stars. Straight up, yeah, just out there.
I'm sitting here like, was I there? Or
what about me?
Did you think of me at all when you were tripping?
And the thing too is like, I totally understand hippies, or like when they come out and they just get really existential. Because I remember sitting there and I'm trying to like communicate with this cosmic being, but then I was like, but I only know English. Like language, what even is language? What does that even mean? And it starts getting pulled apart. And as I'm doing that, this cosmic being starts throwing like space energy at me, like these balls. And each time it would hit me, I'd feel a different emotion. And it was like showing me that like emotion isn't like a set thing and you know nothing kind of thing. And about, well, I'm happy, I'm sad. And it just kept hitting. I could go through all of it. That is some bizarre stuff.
That's crazy. Hey, this is a podcast, dude. I'm just.
Hey, my favorite part of anything that causes psychedelic trips is that everything you experience is like a weird allegory for your self-introspection that you're experiencing.
Yeah, because that's what there
I
was
said
like
a lot of words there, and all of them made sense. I don't do that often.
There were times like I remember a lot of it too was I like saw Claire, my wife, there, but she wasn't quite there. But again, it was always third person too. I was always talking to me. It was weird, but we love Claire, we love our wife, and it was really weird. But I was so happy.
Hell yeah.
And like that would happen, and then I remember I had a dream.
Imagine if it wasn't that.
Like, Claire.
Yeah,
man, fuck Claire, dude.
Yeah,
like come on.
I come out like
imagine you're like I need to rethink some things.
Yeah. Wednesday night, I had like just a regular dream, but then when I went in for the next ketamine injection, it was weird because I saw the whole dream again, except we broke it down and like what the dream actually meant. I was tripping, and it all totally made sense. It was really bizarre. And then broke down again, like some of my, like, I remember I was like looking at a astral version of me or something, and my shape kept changing, and it was supposed to be like my body and my stomach, because I have body image issues, and it's like, we like how we look, it's okay how we look. And then like I could remember feeling like, yeah, who cares about my weight or my image? And then that was all changing, and it would keep breaking down all these things that like subconsciously I always like have worries about or anxious about. And like none of that was intended. It just happened naturally, which was really weird. And,
well, I mean, it is a rewiring of your brain. So, I mean, I guess
I
that
guess
is
so.
how you would rewire your brain from the usual.
And
That's
so,
absolutely crazy, man.
At least we're rewiring it the right way. We don't need to do that right now. Arcanine isn't here, puppies.
Arcanine can't hurt you.
But yeah, so definitely weird experience. And then the long-term benefit of it is still to be seen. But part of me can also understand how some people could like get addicted to that feeling, because it's the ketamine itself isn't addictive, but some people get addicted to the
mental addiction for sure.
Right, to like the feeling, and some people would want to chase that. And I could totally understand why someone would. I'm very grateful to say that that is not me. When you're tripping, you're like, oh, this is crazy. But you come out and it's a lot. And so it's interesting to have that perspective. But definitely not something that I'm going to be searching out. Haven't and will not.
Fruit Summit, you never know what's gonna go down, baby. You never know.
It's gonna get real weird out there.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, that's also the other thing too, is that's a microdose.
Yeah.
So like, I cannot imagine, like I literally cannot imagine what it would be like to, like, I understand now why Rob was running away thinking he was a 9/11 veteran. Like,
the sheer amount of external stimuli can just have such an insane effect on stuff like that. So,
because even when
that's why they're like, hey, you shouldn't like have like crazy external stimulation, because like, bro, who knows where your brain would have gone if you weren't ready for that.
Because like, even with my eyes blindfolded and headphones, sometimes I would hear things, because I was able to have Claire in the room with me. So like, she'd be rustling a paper or like tapping on her phone, or in the hallway I'd hear some people speaking, and then like,
be like, what the fuck?
Or she's watching a TikTok and you just blast out and
and even with that little bit of stimulus, it was like completely changing what was happening in my dream or trip.
Yeah.
Which is why the music was nice, because it was like bong, and that little bong would be like,
bring you back.
and then and like, I'm chilling now, I'm floating, and then it's like, it was a lot of it's movement too. It feels like you're flying. So they gave me
nausea,
motion sickness, because I also get motion sick.
No way. So you could feel the flight.
Oh, it's bizarre. Because like, you can feel the ketamine setting in, because it literally feels like your body's sinking into the chair. And like, I've heard that before, but like, I felt it. Like, you just keep going, and then it stops, and then suddenly it feels like your body's floating, and it's like slowly you lose feeling in your whole body. And then from there, while you're tripping, you feel you being pulled and like moving, or like rising up and rising down. But I'm not moving. It's crazy.
We got to pivot, because I'm about to go out to my local grocery store and try and get some ketamine, because I swear to God,
it
sounds cooler and cooler.
You get kettle broth.
Hey, guess what? You don't need to do that. You could just go get shrooms and
some bath salts.
Congratulations.
Hell yeah. Even easier to obtain.
But yeah, I'm glad I did it in a
I
controlled
recommend
environment.
not doing that.
Yeah. With all that said, I'm literally telling you that like, I don't want to keep doing it. I'm doing it for the sake of hopefully long-term benefits. But like one time, and I was like, that was an experience, but that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing. And
Well,
like
that's why I had to leave the room for a second, because you talking about this reminded me that I'm on antidepressants now, and I haven't taken mine this morning. So I was like, oh,
set an
crap,
alarm.
I gotta go do that.
Yeah.
I know. I should,
like Tuesday, the first day, maybe this will sway some of you. Came back, and lied in bed for 14 hours with a headache, like probably the worst headache I've ever had.
Wow.
To then wake up, and we had to go back, and I was like, I don't want to do it. And we went back, and thankfully, too, part of it is it really dehydrates you. So I got an IV right after, and that kind of helped. But you're just out of it. And so yeah, I haven't recorded anything. This is the first thing I've recorded since like Sunday.
Oh wow.
I haven't really been able to play video games either because I'm so dizzy. It's it's too much.
Yeah.
So that's what your boy's been doing.
I know. So I was playing. I've been playing Ultra Moon Nuzlocke on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AboutTime, and
We get it. You stream.
Someone came in and was like, "Oh, yo, is this with fruit? Like, are you gonna be playing with fruit today?" And I was like, I am pretty sure if Fruit looked at Pokemon right now, he would start thinking
to exist.
He'd start trying to catch them. Like he'd start throwing balls in their life. There's no
would
way.
actually try to catch them.
Go Pokeball. Like,
But so, well, I think that's. But again, though, like that's when I'm in that IV drip and then out. Like that's it. I'm back to like consciousness. There's nothing, no like trip
that's
at
good,
all.
at least.
It's just
you're
really
not walking
groggy.
out there, like...
Right. It's just foggy. If you've ever had the feeling of vertigo, that's kind of what it feels like all the time. That's rough. But yeah, if I were to watch right now, I wouldn't be like, "Whoa, dude." I'd just be thrown up.
That is crazy. I never would have ever thought I heard a story like that from you. I'm actually, could you go back to that point of like the God character? Like, what did they look like? Was it just a beam of light in the universe? Like,
well,
so
I mean, I could kind of, because the weird thing too, though, is some of it is so vivid. Some of it you remember so clearly, and the weird part too, though, is like I don't know how to explain it. Which is part like some of it is like that's what I remember thinking this too when I was tripping, was like there are no words for this. Like I don't know something to associate to this because like our language can't explain what is happening right now. Right. And so that was part of it. But a lot of it was very
some
formless.
hippie stuff that you would see.
Man, I came out and I was like, I get hippies now. It makes sense because like I came out and Claire started telling me about like some appointment. I was like, "Beth,
came out.
It doesn't matter."
Fruit, happy Pride Month.
But I was like, none of that matters, man. Like this world doesn't matter. Because I remember when tripping too. It was like I remembered like it felt like I was in this place that exists, but so few go to. And this was literally just a different life. And it was like, if I were to die here, that'd be fine, or die there, because now I get to be in this place, wherever I was. And it felt great.
It was peaceful.
There's comfort in that.
Well, and that was one weird thing is like, I now, quote unquote, understand or have an understanding of what it would be like to be in heaven, which like, hear me out here. It always never made sense where it's like you would go to a place where you're just always happy and like you have no worries. And
you understand the happy place now.
You found it.
I remember it was like I was some random object in space. And I remember thinking that I would be like this for eternity. And that wasn't scary. It was good. Like I was totally just existing and happy, and there was like no death wasn't a thing, worrying about this or that. It was just like I could be there for all of time and be
Why is there
perfectly
so
fine.
much comfort in this? This is like,
Well, I think
so
that's
nice.
part of like why they give me like the certain music and stuff too, because it's been medically proven, like some of this music and stuff to like, and so they would ask you, they had like specific playlists or whatever, like, do you want to feel vitality and harmonious
Power.
or like all these things? And I think that's part of it too, is like what helps guide you or something. But
Wow,
it's crazy.
Next time, be like, yeah, just throw on Doja Cat. I'll be fine. Just we'll be
good. I couldn't imagine.
Hey, that's already a trip. So
yeah, yeah. You
Speaking
don't need
of
that.
trips, I went to Tennessee.
Oh,
and
okay.
And it was the worst trip of my life, but it was fun. And now I'm glad I'm home because I haven't talked to Mr. Fruit in like 8 years.
Give us your story time of your road trip there.
My road trip there was horrible, and then the way back was also horrible. Being in Tennessee was nice. It was pretty. It was cool. I saw my cats and my mom also. But the way there, I had to drive from California to Tennessee, and if you know where those places are, you know that that's a long distance.
That is a stupid drive.
So we made it to. I got to see the Breaking Bad house, even though the lady yelled at me.
Yeah,
so that was cool. We went through like all of New Mexico, Texas.
Didn't even hit Colorado. What the fudge?
We didn't go to Colorado. Sorry.
I think it would have been quicker.
Would you have seen me if I went to Colorado?
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Wait, hey, I'm here. I'd be like, all right, well, screw you, Joey.
yeah. See, driving through like. My dad would have totally been down for that, but no. Sadly, Colorado is not in between California and Tennessee. Well, it is, but not in the straight line. But the point is, so we literally get into Memphis. We get into the state. We actually cross a bridge to get into the state. And I'm driving, going a flat 70 down this highway. And then you start hearing it like within a second, it's like, and then my tire explodes.
Sounds like sandstorm.
On the bridge?
On the bridge. Or like right at the end.
Well, your tire did what?
And my tire explodes.
Like you can see the pyramid, that bridge, right?
Yeah, I'm right next to, I was looking at the pyramid when this happened.
Yeah.
And I thought I just hit like a weird patch of like gravel. And my dad was asleep next to me.
He's like, Jesus, what?
So he woke up to this. And you just hear, bah! And then like, and it's the driver's side tire. Okay, so it's right under me. I am driving a dually truck with a trailer attached to it. I am on the far left side of the freeway.
Oh, no.
And my left tire explodes. So I'm going to the left towards the tire. And there's a freaking trailer. Like there's a tractor trailer next to me. And so I'm like, dude, I was so scared. And so I slow down and I'm trying to like pull the wheel because it's forcing me into this one place. And I barely get behind this tractor trailer. Luckily there's nothing behind him. Kind of just swerve into the next lane and swerve off to the side area because I needed to get off and my dad's like, get off. We get off and we had to fix this tire on the side of the road when cars are just zooming past. And we had our spare tire. My dad and I checked the spare tire from 2003. It has not been changed or filled or
that's gotta be fine, dude.
It was done. This tire was more done than the exploded one. So it's like we changed this tire, and I have never had more sympathy for people stuck on the side of a highway than when a 16-wheeler rolls by and you think you're gonna get sucked into it. I was so bad. And my dad's like, don't stand near the truck because if someone hits the truck, we're both gone instantly. And I'm like, Dad, don't say that, because he's under the car trying to change his tire. I'm sitting there above him trying to make sure the car doesn't fall on him or the truck doesn't fall on him. And it's just this sucks. And so we finally get the tire on and we need to put air in it because it's from 2003. 3 different gas stations did not have air pumps.
Yeah,
we went to
that is a problem there.
Gas stations, nothing. And oh, by the way, I thought I was going to get stabbed in like 2 of these gas stations. All right. Memphis is beautiful. The gas stations are not. So I'm like, Dad, I'm scared. And we finally get air. We're like, okay, we're doing all right. We're back on. We're still like, I think it's because there's Memphis, there's Knoxville, and then there's Nashville, right? So we have to get past Nashville.
Yeah.
So we have
and
to go
Nashville's
to the
4
other side of the
hours
state.
from Memphis.
Yeah. So it's roughly 600 miles. And then our truck starts to make like a weird noise in the engine. And that's when you're like, that's not the tire. This is weird. And so we're driving. And then the engine just poops out. And we're like, what now? So luckily we were leaving the gas station. So we're not like on a highway or anything. And the engine just goes. And it was just like, what the hell? So we it's like 5:30. The last truck repair place, the last Ford place closed at 5, or we're closed at 5:30. So there's nowhere for us to go. And it's just like, why did our engine just stop? We turn it back on, and I'm like texting the group chat, like, guys, I'm scared. Dado's like, Joey, I will send you money. I'm like, please, it's fine. So, we're trying to figure out what's going on. And we're at this like truck stop place. And we're like, hey man, we're in a truck. Can you help us out? And he's like, wrong kind of truck, man. We're only for the big rigs. And we're like, okay, well, thanks, dude. Like, cool. So we parked the car for a bit. We waited like an hour. Nothing's open. AAA is garbage. We turn back on the key. Truck seems to be running fine. We're like, all right, you know what? We're gunning it to Knoxville. Get all the way there. Get past Knoxville. There is smoke coming from the exhaust. We are killing every mosquito within a 6-mile radius of this highway. Something is wrong with the engine, but it only turns off the engine when we go under 40 miles an hour. So it felt like the movie where like the guy's on the bus and he can't go under a certain speed or else the bus explodes. That's what it felt like all the way from one side of Tennessee to the other side of Tennessee. And then we hit traffic at 9 o'clock at night. And we're like, the truck's going to die in the middle of the road.
Just keep going.
In traffic. So we pull off into like the gravel. And my dad is trying to get to this next exit. There's a crash up ahead. All these cars are honking at us. But we're like leaking, exhaust fumes behind us. So it's like, dude, let us go. And so we're barreling through this highway. We barely get to, I think it was Knoxville. So we're like 200 miles away, like 4 to 3 hours. Probably closer to 2 to 3. And we just have to stop. Like, we can't keep going. So we get to this gas station. We pull into this like empty lot, and the truck just dies. And it was like, well, shit, this is, the end of our road here. We waited 13 hours for a tow truck.
No way.
And
13?
13 hours.
On AAA?
I live tweeted it. Yes, on AAA. They said they were going to be there at like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
Sounds like my DoorDash drivers.
Never came. We ended up sleeping in the driver's, like in the passenger driver's seat, which before we didn't do, but we slept in like the back or whatever. It was so upsetting. And then the next morning we wake up and we're like, you know what? Let's just try and make it. Let's just try and gun the rest of the way. And I didn't want to tell the group chat because I was like, Dado's gonna be disappointed in me if I say, yeah, we're gonna try and make it on a leaking, broken engine about 200 miles. It's fine. Like, I felt like someone was gonna be like, Joey, maybe you shouldn't do that. So we walk out of the truck, we get McDonald's, and we get to this McDonald's, and some guy in the McDonald's looks at my dad and says, hey, you look exactly like a friend of mine who died. That's crazy. And my dad's like, why did this guy need to tell me this on this trip? It's like, why did he have to say that? And he's like, well, he must have been a handsome dude. And he's like, he wasn't. And I was like, dude, what is he? He's just insulting my dad. And so we eventually get back in the truck. We make it barely to this next state. It was like, my dad was white knuckling it the whole time. We're just, so much stress. We didn't say a word. We didn't listen to music.
Oh
We
god.
were leaking exhaust fumes everywhere. Something was up with the truck. We had to go back. We had to avoid traffic, so we were going through all these back roads. But the thing with these back roads in Tennessee is they're so small, and we are on a truck that will poop out if we go under 40 with a trailer behind it. And it's like, this was the most stressful thing I've ever done. So we eventually get like within like an hour of our destination. We go to this like Love's truck stop, just park. I call a local tow truck company. They're like, yeah, we can be there in 40 minutes. They were there in like 15, $300, towed us the rest of the way. It was like, and AAA reimbursed us for that. But it was just like the most stressful thing I've ever done. But we made it. Me and my dad made it to Tennessee. It was great. And then we flew back because hell no,
Hell no.
ever again. And then our flight was delayed like 6 hours. We were stuck in Dallas for like 5 hours. It sucked. But the point is, don't drive to California, Tennessee. Horrible, horrible thing to do. But anyway,
you should never fly with me because I can't tell you the last time I had a flight that wasn't delayed. It's been years, literally. Like,
I remember like every time I saw you, your flight
I'm
would
cursed.
be delayed,
yeah, literally every flight.
It was rough.
So I've been there.
And we had this lady behind us, and she thinks everybody like agrees with her. So she's talking about her opinions really loud. And I'm like, lady, I hate you. And 40 minutes, we're 40 minutes away from California, and my left headphone falls out. And it goes under the seat, and I can't find it because they're black headphones, and it's like, and so I'm sitting there without my music for 40 minutes listening to this lady behind me. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. Eventually, the lights turned on. I was able to find my headphone, but I was like, that was like the worst, dude. So,
but you made it back to us in one piece.
I made it back.
All that
I'm
matters.
home. No one's playing V Rising anymore. No one's. It feels bad. I missed it.
I mean, if you want to,
I really do want to try it. Just this year has been kind of
like I missed the boat.
A crazy one. I feel like I totally missed the boat too. But
I was manning that boat alone.
I know.
Dude, I would love
having to pull the jimmy and everything myself. Guys, anybody? No.
I would love for Valheim to come back.
Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
From cringing at the pump to getting an eye-popping check at your favorite restaurant, inflation is hitting us where it hurts. And it really, really hurts. That's why I started using Upside. Upside is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or dines out. With every purchase, I'm earning cash back thanks to Upside. It's so easy and convenient to use the app. I love it. To get started, download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play Store. Use my promo code GG, and get $5 off or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Next, claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. Check in at a business, pay per usual with credit and a debit card, and get paid. In comparison to credit card, rewards, or loyalty programs, you can earn up to 3 times more cash back with Upside. Download the free Upside app and use promo code GG and get $5 off your cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's $5 or more cash back on your first $10 or more purchase using the promo code GG. Thank you, Upside, for sponsoring this podcast and helping us turn these inflation times. Those big wireless providers forget that families come in all shapes and sizes. That's why Mint Mobile decided to shake up the wireless industry with their brand new modern family plan. Each line starts at $15 a month, and you only need 2 lines to get started. No matter how big or small your family is, you deserve to save on your wireless service. Mint Mobile showed me that Sydney and I could be saving $65 a month on both of our phone payments just by switching to this family plan. For everyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers wireless for just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Plus, Mint Mobile's modern family plan lets you mix and match data plans so everyone gets the amount of data that's right for them. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and get the same phone number along with your existing contacts. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless services starting at $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, including the modern family plan, go to mintmobile.com/GG. That's mintmobile.com/GG. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/GG. Sweaty sack summer is approaching, and it's time for you to prioritize the comfort of your crotch. That's why the kings of crotch comfort, Manscaped, has spent 2 years designing the most comfortable boxer briefs out there. I've had the honor of testing out these new boxers, and I can say it's the softest fabric of any underwear. It's so comfortable, it feels like it's gills for your groin. They have trademarked the jewel pouch, so you know it's serious. I think it's time for you to invest in your family jewels, so let your bulge breathe and get 20% off plus free shipping by using the code GG at manscaped.com. Trust me, there's nothing more important than feeling comfortable while I'm streaming, and these boxers make me feel so comfortable while I'm streaming. Most kind of make me sweaty and stuff, but these are so comfortable. It's like I'm not even wearing them. Let's say you're on a date and your partner catches the Manscaped on the waistband of your underwear. It's almost a guarantee to raise some eyebrows and act like a billboard on the highway to Pleasure Town. The Jewel Pouch is a pouch designed to cradle your boys in their own special place, lined with perforated performance fabric to keep them well ventilated. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code GG at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code GG at manscaped.com. Once the Boxers 2.0 touch your sack, you'll never look back. Is your piece of plastic in your wallet doing enough for you? Because with the secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card, you can start building credit with everyday purchases and on-time payments. You see, with Credit Builder, members can increase their credit history with no annual fees or interest. And having a good credit score can mean getting a better car loan rates or renting apartments easier or just bragging rights around the dinner table. Let me tell you, building credit was something I wish I started on super early, and I wish I had something like this to help me build my credit. Would have made looking for a house a lot easier. So continue your credit journey with Chime. Sign up only takes 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/GGovereasy. That's chime.com/GGovereasy. The Chime Credit Build Visa credit card is issued by Stride Bank NA pursuant to license from Visa USA, Chime checking account, and $200 qualifying direct deposit required to apply for the secure Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card. Regular on-time payment history can have a positive impact on your credit score. Impact to score may vary, and some user scores may not improve. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Life can be overwhelming, and many people are burned out without even knowing it. Symptoms can include lack of motivation, feeling helpless or trapped, detachment, fatigue, and more. I mean, as a content creator, burnout is something we go through like every other day, I feel like. And it's something that, with a lot of therapy, I've learned how to deal with it and how not to deal with it. We associate burnout with work, but it's not only the cause. Any of our roles in life can lead us to feeling burned out. And BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone can help you figure out what's causing that stress in your life. And with my time at BetterHelp, I figured out what was causing my burnout, and it was just me not really listening to my body and trying to do stuff that wasn't really good for me. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you do not want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and GG Over Easy listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/GG. That's BetterHelp.com/GG.
I have a story to share if you don't mind. I don't know how much time you guys have left. I don't know why I checked my invisible watch.
Well, let's run through our topics here. All right, go ahead, Bless.
Okay, sweet. So this is I'm going to try to condense this, but I'd like to say this is 7 months of heck in good terms. So my wife, she's in the Navy, and she's been stationed in Japan since 2019, right? And so I remember vividly, it was November of last year. She was like, hey, probably not going to be coming home until March. I'm like, okay, right? So one next week, she's like, hey, no, I'm coming home New Year's. We need to go buy a house in Virginia Beach. So it was the week before Thanksgiving. I flew to Virginia Beach and I was house hunting. And the realtor was recommended to us by like a military friend of Sophie's. And this lady was super kind of derogatory to me. She was like, I guess this is where you could have your office. What are you going to do? Just play video games? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I just don't want to like talk about, and like the thing is like for me, like I was kind of on a high with like VO stuff and everything. And this lady just grounded me, and she kept like having like these little picks. Like I was just like a dependopotamus, just sucking money from my wife. And it got to me. So I got lunch with a friend that I used to work in radio with. And and he's basically like the national sales accountant for like this guy, for this station. And he's like, yeah, there's like this one thing about digital sales, but you don't want it. And anyway, I sent an email in, and they're like, yes, we want you, right? So I was like, okay. And so I kind of like played a little bit of checkers. I'm like, hey, I'd like to be able to do streams and VO opportunities mainly. And they're like, sure. I'm like, sweet, okay. So, get here, my wife comes here, I try to make everything perfect, and then so she gets here on New Year's Eve. I start the job at January 3rd, and for a while it was kind of nice because our furniture was like super delayed till like halfway through January, and we had a family friend help build a VO booth for voice acting stuff, and so at the time it was all right. But from that, I could see like opportunities just evaporating, just like, like whether it was auditions or something, just kind of evaporate, or like sponsorship things. And so I'm like, all right. And then at the end of that month, my mother-in-law was coming to visit. And so my wife goes to pick her up. I'm at work, and then I see her. And what I thought initially was like, dang, she's on a diet. Not a derogatory thing, but you could see like, just like a little bit of gaunt. Just like I would say not gaunt, but just a little bit of fat in the cheeks gone. And I'm like, and I was like, I thought it was more so diet or like exercising or something, not anything bad. So she's staying with us and everything. So, her mom, if she was a Dungeons and Dragons character or a character in Fallout, like all of her stats is in charisma. For real, like it's just maxed out. And so, you could have a conversation about anything with her. And so, I never had an issue with her. She can be a little blunt, but besides that. And so, she's staying with us, and all of a sudden she starts vomiting and everything. And she didn't want to
casually.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and so then she just started vomiting a whole bunch.
I'm trying to be quick with the story. But so she starts vomiting, and so she didn't want to go see a doctor, and all she was eating normally, and then it was down to like just pieces of watermelon. When I say pieces, I'm talking like 4 pieces a day of watermelon. And when I say pieces, I'm talking about like the little cubes you get. And so she was adamant on going home to South Carolina. And so as the flight was getting closer and closer and closer, she kept vomiting more, but she was like stringent of not going. So the day comes of her flying home, and so we take her to the airport, and I was very shocked because she was actually wanting to get in one of those wheelchairs where you have an assistant. I'm like, wow, you're very sufficient. It's kind of crazy that you're willing to do that. And so my wife said to me, this is the last time I'm going to see my mom. I'm like, oh, don't say that. So I remember vividly, we drove home, and on Paramount Plus, I was watching the Nintendo versus Sega documentary. And as soon as that was over, her mom called, I need you to pick me up. I'm vomiting blood. I need to go to the ER. I'm like, oh, sheesh. So we speed there, and we had to, find her in this airport and get her, literally sprinted her to the car because she was about to vomit. And, I'm not making light of it, but it was like seeing Charizard just spit fire with vomit, and it was just blood. And I was like, oh my God. So, looked up the best, ERs in Virginia Beach and took her to Centera Hospital. And Sophie was there the entire time. And I'm just like, sheesh, man. And so she stayed there for a while, and it was basically nothing. They just gave her a few medicines, and my mother-in-law is kind of hard-headed. She was kind of picking and choosing the medicines she was taking. And right about that time, Sophie found out she was pregnant. I'm like, oh, sheesh, right? So we kind of, didn't say anything for a while. And then
I know the hardest bomb will drop on Bless, and it's, sheesh.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And
it's your coping mechanism. Sheesh.
It is, yeah. Oh, sheesh. And so, kind of kept it quiet a little bit. I know I told you guys a little bit early. And so I remember vividly, she's back from the hospital. We took her to an Olive Garden, and she was like, all right. I guess she thought we were joking, but she didn't seem too excited. And then we were like, dang, we thought you'd react a little bit more excitingly. She was like, I don't know. I'm just used to you guys playing pranks. I'm like, I guess that's valid. And so eventually, she vomits here and there, but she goes back to South Carolina, and everything is kind of calm in the house and everything. And then we see, so with the Navy, you can't get pregnancy assistance until you're 13 weeks, right? So, like, you can't get any checkups. And it's kind of dumb. And so around the 9-week period, we went to this place called Hello Baby where you can get, like, the ultrasound. And, you know, it's not too bad. I think it's like $50 or something. And you get to see it. And the lady was super nice and helpful and everything. And then so it was right as the 13 weeks, you know, Sophie's mom had to go back to the ER in South Carolina. And she found out that she had like stage 4 cancer because she had cancer in 2018 and beat it. However, she was like hardcore against doing chemo just because, like, I think her mom had cancer and did chemo and she didn't want the same thing to happen. And so she found out, and it was like in her bones. And Sophie drove down from Virginia Beach to South Carolina, like the Greenville area. And during that time, like, she finds out everything. And, you know, she drives back up that Sunday, right? So down Saturday is with her. Sunday, she comes back and she's like, you know, I don't really feel any like back pain or abdominal pain. I'm like, hey, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. And she's like, I'm going to schedule another ultrasound. And so I remember I was still working at this radio station, and at the radio station, I wasn't just really happy because I could see, you know, this is in mid-March at this time, and I could see just opportunities just evaporating VO-wise and, you know, content creation-wise, and I was kind of just sad by that, right? And so the reason I was keeping the job was because I knew that she was pregnant. And so I'm like, hey, gonna go see this ultrasound. I'm like, okay, cool. So went there. The lady, it's a different lady. Sophie, you know, you have to hold in your pee to do these ultrasounds. And so she's like, oh, I have to go, kind of thing. And so the lady, I remember, you know, puts stuff on her stomach and like does the machine. And she was like, oh, I think you have to pee a little too much, you know, just a lot of pee, and like making it hard to see, which I thought was just kind of a joke. And then we see it, and like it automatically, by just like the size, it determines how old the fetus is. And it was like, all right, it's 9 weeks. I'm like, well, it should be 13. And the lady just like powered off the machine right then and there. And she was like, I can't say anything, but you need to go to the ER right now. And I'm like, okay. And she's told Sophie to use the restroom because the restroom's right there. And as soon as Sophie went into the bathroom, the lady went to me. She's like, I am so sorry. We're not going to charge you for this visit. Take all the time you need. And I was like, oh, sheesh. And so I remember just sitting there and crying, and like, you know, a bunch of things went through my mind. And so Sophie and I went to the ER, and it was a whole situation, and all like they didn't do a DNC, and I won't get too much into that, but so like she had to pass everything naturally. They would not, you know, DNC or anything. And so I remember after that, you know, you're trying to act normal. And so we went to this fancy Mexican place, and we were having food, and we had, you know, margaritas, because I was trying to, you know, lighten up. You know, if anyone ever visits St. Jude, what they do is like, hey, you go through all this stuff and it's heavy, but then they take you out for drinks and celebration after. And so I was thinking, hey, do that just to try to create some levity. And so, you know, everything's all right, and like not everything's all right, but, you know, processing and, you know, having a drink. And fast forward to Friday. Well, you know, work was a lot of weird stuff because I was making this thing where I was trying to, at the radio station, try to create this thing where it was like BuzzFeed, kind of, sort of, where it was like a mixture of BuzzFeed and, you know, Watch Mojo, of like whether it's anything, like if they have any artist interviews, it goes under one thing, whether it's country or pop or, you know, Watch Mojo-esque style stuff. And I remember it was around the time that the Batman was coming out. I made this thing about like, hey, before Nirvana was the sound of Batman, you know, all this stuff about Michael Keaton's Batman and Prince and that stuff. And I went to go post it, and I remember the dude at the station was like, you know, this call sign WVHD has never and will never F with Prince, and like he was in my face and just telling me all this stuff. I'm like, what the frick? So like I was on the out. So the week of like the miscarriage, I was like packing stuff out because I knew I was only there because of pregnancy. So I'm like, every day I just take a little bit. Every day I just take a little bit more. And so that same guy like texts me. He's like, when are you going to be here? And it was Thursday. I remember we went to this place called Tupelo Honey, my wife and I, and it was around lunch. We're having drinks because it's just like we're still like going through it. And what we were going to do is go get a tree to plant, with everything that we caught from the baby, and so we get the tree, but I have to jet back to the station, so we couldn't plant it right there. And I had this meeting. It was like, hey, this is going to be your April budget. It's this much, and I need you to write me a paper on how you're going to hit this. And I'm like, what the heck? I guess business is usual. So I come home and I tell Sophie that, and she's like, hey, I'll write it for you. I quit. And like, and so that night I wrote up my, the 2-week notice. I kind of figured they'd cut me right there. And that night she just all of a sudden had these severe pains and run to the restroom, and it was like, water broke blood, and we had to go back to the ER. And again, we went there and they didn't do a DNC or anything like that. And she actually had this thing that wasn't, a baby, but it was something else, TMI. But and so they didn't do anything. They wouldn't examine anything. And basically they just kind of just said, oh yeah, the baby passed, and still didn't clean anything, and which boggles my mind. And so there was like this point where like I had to go into work. I'm like, Sophie, I don't want to leave you. She's like, you need to go in and quit. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to make this about me right now. She's like, I'm about to go back there. You can't be back there. It'll be an hour. Go. So I went to the radio station. I printed out my paper. This one dude comes over to my desk. He's like, shit, you're packed up. And I'm like, yeah, dude. And I went to my one friend that kind of, helped me get the job. I'm like, hey, we're still in for beers tomorrow, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, no matter what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm holding you to that. He's like, all right, dude. And I went to the next office and I like put in the 2-week notice, and they're like, is this how you want to handle this? I'm like, yeah. And like he went to the general manager and like, hey, we'd like to give you a month unpaid and you come back. And I'm just like, nah, I'm good. And so I left the radio station, right? And then so there was that. And so in that month of April, that was April, I literally quit the job April 1st. And so in that month, it was nothing but trips to go see her mom she was in Richmond at VCU, and she was going to get, ease of life, like surgery. So just constant trips, hour and a half up, or going to see her and then her brother in Disputana. Right. So it was just like these long trips of just circling the state of Virginia, bottom, top, leftmost. And it was super crazy. And then she finally had her surgery and she went to hospice around the start of May. And so her mom was adamant on going to Virginia Beach, oceanfront. And we're like, okay, like we can't get any Airbnbs that are on the oceanfront, and we can do the bay. And they're like, no, it has to be oceanfront. And she was like, oh, I'll wait until after Memorial Day. And everyone's like, no, this should be like this week. So it's May 3rd, and we bought this resort package at a Hilton on the Virginia Beach oceanfront, and it was like $2,000, and it had like a kitchen, living room, master bedroom, another bedroom, and like it was very nice. And so we the whole family was going to go, and we even like rented like a Jazzy for the beach that her mom said, I want to run over kids as a joke, but like we got like one of those prime beach Jazzies rented, which are not the cheapest. And so that Thursday comes, May the 5th, Revenge of the Sith. And she passed that night, and luckily her entire family was there. And the sudden realization comes like, oh sheesh, we have this rental, right? And so the next day, so like that's a Thursday, so they try to call then, and they're like, Hilton's like, no, we cannot honor this, your reservation's tomorrow. And we try to explain, hey, like this, they wouldn't do it. So we're thinking, okay, maybe it's a good thing for us all to go, right? And so that Friday we go, and as soon as we check into the room, we get a call. And it was like, hey, we'd love to give you a free complimentary extra night. I'm like, oh, well, maybe this is like them making up for that. That's cool. And they're like, all you have to do is sit through this thing of us trying to, timeshares. And I'm like, I will do it. No one else has to. And she's like, no, your wife has to. We re-explain it. And she's like, sorry, I have to. The next day comes, 10 a.m., we go to this thing. And so a bunch of people are there. And so we get this sweet old guy, and, you know, we kind of tell him the situation. And he's like, don't worry, I'm not going to go super salesy on you. Just know I will try to sell, but you say no. And I'm like, okay, well, this guy's cool, right? And so anyway, that was not the situation. We get there, they're talking about it. I'm like hardcore, no. Sophie's next to me. And then the sales guy, like the sales manager comes, and he's like, I'm so sorry to hear about your loss, but you know, your mom would want you to do this. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And Sophie just like eyes teary-eyed, right? And then I'm like, he's like, well, I'm gonna let you go. And then you have to sit through a sales presentation, right? And like they're showing all these things, and you have to sit through it and engage. And then so this lady in there, she's like, what happens if your liver fails and you're gonna die tomorrow? And so someone told her what happened to her mom, and Sophie just starts like, you know, just like crazy, like almost crying. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so horrible, right? And then I think the most ironic thing is like, where's your dream destination? People are saying Cabo or, you know, Miami or whatever. I'm like, Star Wars Galactic Cruiser, and which they did not offer. Anyway, so we have to go back, and they pressed harder. And so basically we said, no. And like, you're just being so negative about this. You need to promise that you'll go on a vacation. You deserve it. I'm like, I will go on a vacation. Then buy this so you're forced to go on it. I'm like, nah. And so it was like, you get American Express, and then you have to max it out at like $2,000 a year. And like, it was multi-year commitment. It was crazy. So that was just a weird thing. And then the final nail in the coffin was, we go back, and her brother and his spouse got in a fight that night, right? And so I'm thinking nothing of it. The next day is Mother's Day, right? So you had miscarriage plus her mom dying. So it's very important, like to me, to make sure this day goes perfectly, right? So for some reason, I wake up. I swear to God, I hear Kyle. Someone say Kyle. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, I check the alarm next to me. It's 5 a.m. I'm like, okay, I'll open the blinds so the sun comes in and she can see the sunrise. And next thing you know, this lady bangs in. She's like, Sophie, your brother, he left me. Like, you need to call him to come back. And Sophie is like, like, you you entered our room. This is a little too much, man. And and so Sophie's like, okay, all right. And she's like, you need to call him. And she gets down beside the bed, and she's like, Sophie, you'll always be that little blonde girl with the messed up teeth to me. And I'm like, and then she's like, okay, I'll give him a call, and just like, so she leaves, and, she calls, and she's like, what the heck is going on? He's like, Sophie, I need to figure out some stuff. And short conversation. So she comes back in, Sophie, did you hear anything that happened? She was like, I think you should leave Travis alone right now. And anyway, fast forward, he calls back. He's like, Sophie, I'm moving out west. I need Kyle to take her home to, this place an hour and a half away. And I'm like, oh. So I had to drive her and her kids, an hour and a half. It was crazy. Anyway, this year has been absolutely crazy.
What the fuck did I just listened to like an autobiography that happened in a time span of a couple, like of 2 years. Like,
it's a Lifetime movie if they never end happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's even more craziness, but I just know it gets a little weirder. But yeah, that was my November to now. So I'm steadfast on June 1st to forward. This is a happiness year. This is the good part.
This is the happiness year.
This is the happy edition. Yeah, this is the happy.
Oh my God, dude, that is unbelievable. And I knew like some of that, like obviously like the
I love
big,
how
hit.
Joey comes into this podcast like no one's topping my story.
Yeah, well, you have fruits like, man, the future is so hopeful. Like
Fruits
I really
like
am
ketamine,
happy.
and
And
then
yeah,
Joey's
mine, it's like, yeah, Tennessee was a bit
I
rough.
got a pretty
And then
good
Bless is like, this.
He's like,
this is my winter year.
this is life without mug.
Yeah, this was life around without mug.
Dude.
Yeah, and
Like,
so
I don't know how I'm gonna be like. And anyway, now on to questions. You know, like that's.
So anyway, Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I don't know how to. Wow,
my condolences.
Again, yeah, seriously, that's like I've already told you several times over, but so sorry.
Oh man, you don't have to say anything, man. And I think the I guess like the nice part is like May I was kind of fundraising. I wanted to do every day for St. Jude, but it was like, you know, here and there because, you know, death and all, plus weird resort and plus funeral stuff. And so, but like got like 25,000 for St. Jude then, and then GCX Joey helped me out, and we raised 16,500, and at 15,000 shaved the eyebrows.
62. Yes.
Yeah,
I shaved a small part of my leg. It's there.
I wore a bikini Leia.
Joey did it right. I did a little patch in an obscure region.
I was doing mini versions of whatever Bless did. So every time he did like one of his wax strips, I would shave off a little part of my leg. Every time he did the bomb, I would do Frank's
Red Hot.
and then halfway through, I don't know why I did this. Well, I do. But I was like, all right, 1162. Another shot, another hit of Frank's Red.
Yeah.
The 1162s started piling in, and I'm like, okay, double or nothing. If you 22, whatever, I'll do an entire shot glass, or $50. I'll do an entire shot glass. 2 of those donos come in. I did 2 entire shot glasses of Frank's Red, and I love Frank's Red, but I was sitting there
like it anymore.
A little acidic, right?
And then I was like, all right, 100 and something. I'll take a whole fucking raw egg down the hatch. And I cracked it on my teeth.
Which is crazy.
Down the hatch.
Who cracked stuff?
Only the yolk went down. All of the white stuff was still in my mouth. So I'm sitting there like, Bless, turn off my camera. And I'm like, I couldn't say anything because I couldn't talk. So I'm just sitting there like,
yeah, because vomiting is the TOS on Twitch.
So but only the yolk went down. So I put I put it out in this bowl, and it's just the white part of the egg. I'm like, how did that even happen?
That's
so
funny.
bad. I put an egg on my head. It was a great stream. We raised
we actually, for the first time in my life, we got told that we were too extreme. Because we're like, hey, if this happens, if we get this donation in like 20 minutes, I
lemon
will
in the eyes,
squirt lemon in my eye. And they're like, GCX was like, no, do not. Like,
I think because that's considered like self-harm or something.
Yeah.
What were we trying to hit for that? Like, was that the 20,000?
That was to get to 15, I think.
I'm glad.
You know what the bizarre thing is? Arios did that for free.
True, I know, yeah.
Well, he inspired it, but yeah, I guess like don't tell Twitch he did it.
Do not do that. And that was the thing too. If we said if we hit $20,000, we would watch Morbius live on
5 times
in a row. And luckily, we didn't hit 20,000.
I was gonna say what in the.
But oh man, yeah, that was a good stream.
I kind of wish that happened. I kind of want to watch.
I was kind of.
When was this?
Down for it to happen.
When did this happen?
This was Sunday night.
Yeah. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know how I missed that, but
I mean, it was pretty late. It was like 9 to 12.
It was 9 to 1 PT or 12 to 4 a.m. I remember, I thought it was funny because I shaved my eyebrows, and so it was done at 4, and my gym class is at 6. So I walked in, everyone's like, "What the heck?" Like, because of the missing eyebrows. I'm like,
it is a little unsettling. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know.
Well, lads, I'd say we had a pretty successful podcast. However, we have not done the Q&A section. Would you guys, anyone got anything else we want to touch on before we hop into a couple Q&As?
Okay, let's spitball it. Kenobi's good.
Actually,
what else were we gonna?
I would disagree.
Oh, you don't?
Kenobi is very. Kenobi has no reason to exist. Is what it feels like.
You're coping.
Wow, you suck.
I don't think
We
it
have
serves.
2 more episodes.
I don't think it
dude.
serves any purpose. I'm gonna say.
Cope.
I think it's hurting
I
my
enjoy
idea
it.
more.
I love Cody.
It's okay.
I haven't seen the latest episode, but I do really
I haven't
like
seen
it.
the latest.
Dog fruit. I enjoyed it a lot. It was swingy. There was lightsaber. Every time a lightsaber turned on, I go, "Yay, a lightsaber turned on." I enjoyed this.
Everyone
Joey.
says this ruins episode 4. I think the only thing it ruins is the cool lightsaber effects we have now because they actually use light up lightsabers that create these reflections. I think that's the only thing it ruins.
I enjoy it. I enjoy Star Wars, and Mr. Fruit sucks.
Scarlet and Violet popping off.
Team Violet,
MILF.
even though I wish
They
I
look
had Hot
amazing.
Dino Lady.
MILF. Team MILF for me.
They
Yeah, but those
really want to cause bi panic during Pride Month by having 2 hot fucking professors.
I am with
True. You can go either way. For those that missed it.
Smoliv?
Oh yeah.
My god.
Smoliv and
Hey,
Chonk.
I will stand by the past 3 gens of Pokemon. That guy that got designing them, bangers.
Keep
Just
it up.
nonstop
The
bangers.
names? Oh my
So
god.
good
Lechonk.
too.
Like,
Lechonk.
I hate the people on Twitter who are like, oh, they must have gotten a Zoomer to make these names. Lechonk
saw
and
that.
Smoliv.
And
I'm
it's
like,
I don't
dude,
know how
that
to
is
tell
the
you
best
this.
fucking thing in the
I don't
world.
know how to tell you this. Pokemon, ever since its inception, has had Zoomer humor. Like, I don't know what you.
Yeah.
Like Squirtle.
You're just not a Zoomer.
Squirt. Turtle. The
Yeah.
one Squirtle.
Squirrel.
If you break down like 99% of Pokemon names, it's something like that.
That's the point. That's
yeah.
Pokemon name.
I mean, it's
They're
funny.
coded.
You guys want fucking like Big Dicko Drago, like no,
Big Dick.
That's why
my
you guys
favorite
Pokemon
Pokemon.
names, okay, bud?
Smoliv isn't
Go Big
isn't
Dick
black, it's just like, I'll be
Drago.
really upset.
Ooh, a shiny
true.
black olive. That'd be so sick.
That'd be so sick.
Oh, that would be cool.
They also, with the announcement, came that you'd be able to play up to 4-player. They didn't
Okay.
specify exactly how it works.
That's what I'm
but-
wondering.
I
If
gotta
you can
know.
just play in a session, I will cream my little pants.
We're
if it's
4-player
just like-
Nuzlocke. Easy.
If it's like limited to like 4-player co-op in certain areas,
I
that's
thought
probably
they
more
said it
what-
was just one big area.
Yeah, that's what they kind of are hinting at.
Yeah, it's,
My
it's
thing is
Breath
how
of
our
the
trainer's
Wild.
going to work, how our, all
Well,
this
um,
stuff.
Yo,
I mean,
you know what
I mean,
no one ever talks about is like the new animations for the trainers. Like your rival. I thought I was watching something from Final Fantasy 14.
They really, I mean, I think this is clearly the quote unquote first mainline game that was really developed from the ground up on the Switch. So, I mean,
You
next
don't
to
think
Arceus
was?
I think Arceus was, but I think Arceus was like the beta test for
early, yeah.
Yeah.
Proof of
Which,
concept.
if Arceus was the beta test, I'm very excited for this.
exactly. Yep. Same.
Yeah. I think that's just so crazy that this year started with Arceus and it ends with a whole new gen. I think that's so crazy.
Hey,
All
I
you
called
for me.
it.
Yeah.
I called
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
You guys were like, "There's no way new Pokemon comes out," and I was like,
I was skeptical. Well, and that's also when I didn't.
well, I almost didn't want it to happen.
Well, true, but I think I also mentioned it too. That's before I realized they had 2 separate teams. When they had 2 separate teams, it made more sense. But I was like, "There's no way they're gonna run through Arceus." But it makes sense that they've been running parallel.
Mhm.
I'm happy we're getting it because they also mentioned too that it's not on rails. Like there's still a story, but you can explore.
Yeah, that's
In-
Breath of the
Mm.
Wild style.
Hey,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah,
people were like, "This is gonna affect it so bad." Breath of the Wild,
yeah,
Elden Ring,
and also
Yeah,
it's,
you
it's
go
something
right to the
different.
DLC.
open world game.
Yeah,
You just
because
scaled Pokemon.
there's like, what is that? Like the Pokemon Origins thing of when, Red fights Brock and Brock only chooses 2 of his
That's
6.
right.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
it's
so,
literally
Specific
in canon.
Pokemon depending on
Yeah.
the experience
How many
of the
badges
trainer.
you have?
yeah.
And
I
if he
think that's
doesn't
really
like you,
cool.
but you like youngster Joey, he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
all
it's
right,
another
well,
ball.
you
Yeah,
can
it's
take.
Youngster Joey.
Bitch, level 600 Steelix.
Yeah.
Dude, Ultra Moon, dude. I hate this game. This game sucks. I love Pokemon Nuzlocke, but God, I hate Pokemon Nuzlocke.
Ultra Sun and Moon. I will say it. Downgrade from normal Sun and Moon.
I've heard the same thing, but I kind of just.
Why is it a
play the-
downgrade? Because I missed that one.
I think the story is.
Story wise is way worse. Ultra Sun and Moon story is like a 12-year-old wrote the Ultra Sun Moon rewrite.
They changed Lucamine, didn't they? They made her like
changed
not as
Lucamine.
evil.
She's like, haha, I'm only kind of evil.
I didn't notice how many mommy characters are in Sun and Moon, dude.
You've been
Wick?
missing out.
How have I never seen Wick in my entire life?
Sun and Moon was like the dawn of like people like, okay, we can sexualize Pokemon.
Yeah, the Pokemon sexual awakening.
Let's time to sexualize some gym trainers, you know.
Well,
I
do
do
that
the
with
sexual awakening generation.
Yeah, I
did
guess.
not. I missed this gen. My only experience with Sun and Moon before this was watching Fruit play it in sophomore year of high school. That is
great. Sun and Moon is full
That's
of
a throwback.
waifus and husbandos, just full of them.
I didn't know this. I
Well,
had no
you know
idea.
what they say, Alola.
Morbius.
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 Okay,
That's pretty much
Speed run.
lads,
Sorry, we were supposed to speed run.
you got to speed run quicker.
Morbius re-released LMAO. It failed again. Sony's out of time.
No. I couldn't go out that weekend. They need to re-release it a third time, please.
Third time.
Yo, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Do it. I'll go this time. I swear.
Yeah, I will.
Sure.
I'll buy a more billion ticket.
I saw Everything Everywhere. Great. You guys
Fantastic.
are right. I saw it like 2 days ago.
Fantastic movie.
Very good.
Okay, anything else, boys? Anything else?
I don't think so.
Games Fest was a snooze fest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dwayne
nothing
The
really.
Rock was promoting his energy drink. I'm promoting my energy drink. With code time, you can get advanced GG or Sargasm now. I actually don't know his code, but
Something tells me they probably didn't give him the gasm.
They gave him gasm for sure. Anyway, advanced GG.
I feel like for things like for anything that's like Summer Games Fest, they need to disclose what is a paid ad or not. Because I feel Summer Games Fest is 100%
90%
paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the only people that didn't have
for that money.
The only people that probably didn't have to pay was like Call of Duty. I'm sure he was like, "You guys want to do your worldwide premiere?
You can show gameplay. You want to show 18 minutes of gameplay? Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
do that.
Shooter on rails. Come on, go here."
Does that guy know a sprint button exists? Like, come on, dude. Jesus, get to the objective.
As I'm just watching, it's like this is when I make a joke about E3 walking gameplay. This is what I'm talking about.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
Anyway,
I think that's
all right,
about it.
speedrun questions. Blue, start us off.
All right, boys, here we go. So our first question is from XLR 8R03. I'm sorry if I ruined that, but to be fair, that's a name.
Accelerated?
Accelerate. This question
something.
for the group. He might be onto something. I can't recall if you guys ever talked about it, but back in school, were you considered class clowns? If not, did you ever get a superlative in the yearbook?
Superlative?
Like a superlative.
Superlative.
So he, like were you the class clown in the yearbook?
Yeah, like did you get like a title from on Destiny? If Destiny was yearbook, did you get a title?
I know what I put as my senior year quote. I thought I was so deep for this. It was, "Some will win, some will lose. Some are born to sing the blues."
Oh, fucking god damn it, dude. Why did I?
That has nothing to do with the question, but thank you, Bus.
I swear I saw that response from Bless before it happened, and I was still surprised that was his response.
Hey guys, anecdote. I just doesn't have anything to do with it.
I missed the deadline for my senior quote, so I don't actually have one, and I think that is a really great way to say how my high school experience went. So I
don't remember what my quote was.
That was this wasn't the question.
As far as class clown, I did get it a couple times, specifically in elementary school. Then I moved to Colorado. I had less friends, was very depressed, and no longer class clown. Sad.
About exactly how it went for me. In elementary school, I killed it. I was the host that they wanted for the talent shows. I was the guy. And then I went to middle school, and then I didn't have friends anymore. And then I went to 3 high schools. Unless I was comfortable, I was not funny. So
wait, so you're not comfortable around me?
Oh.
Come on, that was a good one. Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to the next.
Yeah, I wasn't really a class
you missed
clown.
this, Joey.
I didn't like talking to people, so people suck in high school, especially. Everyone was weird, trying to prove something, and I was just like, I just want to go to college and get my degree. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right, This one's pretty topical. With the new Pokemon game rumored to have multiplayer with up to 4. Oh, nope, I'm not asking that one. This one's from Glade. With the new Pokemon trailer being out, what is your guys' favorite new Pokemon, and why is it Lechonk?
Lechonk.
You got it right there.
Well,
It's
it's tight between that and
is that
Smoliv.
actually your favorite?
For me,
Well, are we on
no.
Team Smoliv or Team Lechonk? Because I think
Lechonk.
at the end of the day, Lechonk takes it for me.
Well,
But I think
this
Smoliv is a
question,
better name.
I think this question is like in general, like of all of the Pokemon we've seen that are new, like from the
But we
new
haven't
gen,
really
what is your
seen-
favorite?
Aside from
We
that,
only have, like,
those
6,
two,
don't
yeah,
we?
like the starters and the
we have
legendaries.
a pretty good handful.
Well, no, they gave us the electric mouse. They gave us Palmy.
and then they gave us
Oh,
the
yeah.
legendaries as well. We have
I'm
quite
not
a
The
a
few.
fan of that
legendaries
mouse.
are fire. I'm actually very excited for these box legendaries.
So of all of them,
Yeah.
what's your favorite? Like what's on the podium right now of all the
I
new
think-
ones is your favorite?
Probably the Lady Professor.
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
Oh yeah, Palmy is cute.
Yeah, it's an electric mouse.
I am, of course, I am kind of biased towards Smoliv simply because my dog is named Olive, and I love her.
True.
But design-wise, it has to either be. I think it's Lechonk. I love Lechonk.
I love
Really.
Fuecoco
Design wise, I like Fuecoco a
I
lot.
love
And
Fuecoco.
I also really like
Sprigatito.
Sprigatito, but I hope
I
they
love
don't.
the weed cat. Wait, did you guys see that it needs and it releases a sweet aroma that calms people around it?
Oh, that's
It literally
so
makes weed.
That's
biscuits.
so good, dude. I hope they keep that thing on 4 legs. I swear to fucking God.
Oh yeah, the
Oh my
bipedal curse.
Please keep it on.
I got to play Sword and Shield early. Like Nintendo flew me out like back when that came out. I remember when I was playing it, I was trying to race to see what Sabo evolved into, but I kept saying, "Can you please have a Cocker Spaniel Pokemon?" And the guy that wrapped it up, he's like, "All right, on our notes is like Cocker Spaniel Pokemon, Cocker Spaniel Pokemon." So I'm hoping my notes have
Cocker
gotten
Spaniel
in.
Pokemon.
They made it through for sure.
So
You
hopefully
really
my
want
notes were in, baby.
He said he spoke for the people, so
I know. Well, before Sword and Shield, Fruit was like, a corgi Pokemon would be nice. And now we have Yamper. So
and then
Yeah, so
I wish
I'm
they
hoping.
kind of kept. I understand why they went with Blitzel, but
you
I don't want to evolve him, you know, or not
You mean
Blitzel.
He doesn't evolve into a zebra.
Boltund, yeah.
Bolton.
Yeah, that's like I know why they did it, but no longer my cute.
You
little
were
corgi.
hoping for like a big corgi.
Yeah, just give me
baby. That's all
You're
good.
hoping
Just
for a long corgi.
chunky corgi. That's all I want.
Oh,
Chung
what do you guys
and
think the thing's gonna be? You think we're gonna see the return of Gigantamax, or it's just gonna be a whole nother gimmick?
I think the gimmick is
Probably a new one.
is going to be vehicles. Because a lot of people were noting there's a lot of vehicular accessories on the
kinda
legendaries.
right. And they're gas stations.
Yeah, so they.
I did like the
so
gas
people were
station.
People were thinking vehicles are going to be the theme.
I
But
think
they don't need fuel when
gimmick's
they have
late-stage capitalism.
Pokemon slave labor. So I don't know.
Fair.
They really have.
Late stage capitalism is a pretty good gimmick.
Um,
It's been working for Pokemon for years, so
I think it's going to be new though because they've never introduced a new gen and had its gimmick be the last gimmick. They've always changed
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So I think they'll keep doing it.
all right.
All right, this one is from Fenrir. All right, I got a hard one. I know these types kind of suck, so just say whatever comes to mind first. Doesn't have to be realistic, best, but whatever pops up first. What is your favorite gun or weapon throughout all the games you've played? Like most fun to use, easiest, most interesting, etc.
Master Ball.
That's
Got Pokemon on
I've
your
heard
mind,
this
huh?
question asked for me to you guys 16,000 times. And
this one isn't that. This one's a little more wide. Like before, it was like, "What's your favorite gun?" But this one's like, "What's your just general? What's the favorite weapon you've used in a game?"
Oh, I got one. The Kazooie gun from Banjo-Tooie.
Also a fantastic one.
First one that came to mind was the not chains of woe. Is it chains of whatever from God of War?
I think it might be Blades of
Or Blades of Chaos? Something like that. Something like that.
Oh,
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah,
The fire things.
Those played really well. Plus, I think they also just felt better because I didn't see it coming. And then you got them in the game. You're like, and then I was like, oh, it's
Spoilers.
going to be some short gimmick. And then there's full out skill trees for everything. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah. And Leviathan Axe was such a solid just addition.
Well, that's
to
why
the
I was totally fine with just the axe. Axe was fun.
But whenever I think of favorite weapon to use, I just always go back to lightsabers, double bladed lightsabers. Just give me something.
Yeah.
So sick. I can't wait for Fallen Order 2 or Fallen Order. Yeah, no, Fallen Order 2. Yeah, I was right. Jedi Fallen Order 2.
I still haven't played
Jedi
the first
Survivor.
one. I need to.
You haven't played the first one? That is one of the only games I have ever finished fully on stream.
It's a great Star Wars game.
Well, see, it's just
a great game.
It's a single player campaign game, and since doing
You
YouTube,
love God of War.
I know, but
it's a Dark Souls light. It's
like
great content.
God of War, Horizon. Those are like the 2 single player games I finished in the past 8 years.
And you loved them.
I did. I'm sure I would love
God of War's
Jedi
your
Fallen
favorite
Order.
game.
It's like top 3.
Okay.
I wouldn't say favorite. I have commitment issues. I don't know if I could commit to a favorite, but
okay, so like us, like you can't say I'm your favorite.
right? Yeah, exactly.
Lil buddy. Kind of thing, like, that's fine.
I call you my little buddy. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, mine's easy. I fucking love gunblades. Give me that shit. Put it in a blender. Give me super gunblade. Love gunblades. Easy. For me. Mr. First question is don't know, right? Or no, your answer was the Kratos
Blades of Chaos or
Kratos.
whatever those were.
All right, next question. This one's from Nowhere as a Gamer. So right now I'm struggling with what I want to do career-wise. Right now I'm not sure what I want to go back to school for, and it's making me rather anxious because I'm the type of person that needs to have a definitive answer. Any advice on dealing with anxiety while making big decisions?
Noah, you asked this question on stream last night. I am not the guy to ask career advice for. I am barely paying my rent. But you are a great film guy, so keep being good at that.
I can tell
Love
you, I could tell you right now, everyone will always have anxiety about making big decisions. The way I deal with it is I just kind of say, you know what, I'm doing something, and then I stick to it. Also, don't think of anxiety as a bad thing. This has like been really helpful for me. Is if you think of anxiety as your body just preparing you for making this decision, and it takes a lot of stress off when you rethink how you like deal with anxiety. Just be like, hey, the stress is helping, is like getting me tensed up. So like, all right, here we go. Let's figure this out. Boom, do it. This is what I made the decision. Let's just do it.
My problem is I just cope by eating things I shouldn't. So
that's a great anxiety.
Triple pizza challenge, baby.
I usually
last night I was stressed as shit. I got some Bluebell ice cream sandwiches. That got rid of the anxiety.
Yeah, see, what I usually do is it's like when I don't know if you ever did it where like you it's really cold out and you jump into a pool to be freezing, and then you jump into a hot tub because it's really hot, and then you keep doing that. It's miserable. But you do it with your friends. But it was just like that. Like, I don't want to jump in that cold pool, but you just do it. So I would just do the decision and then bury my head in delicious comfort food. That's how I go about it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, saying, I mean, everyone kind of memes on it, but it is what it is. Can't be what it ain't. Live your dream, man. Say YOLO, and if you live that YOLO thing, make the best decisions for yourself, and
that's right.
Do what you think that is best for you. Make your happiness and
make your happiness.
Or instead, take the edge off by just going, "Oh, sheesh."
That's true.
Yeah. Therapy $100. Oh, sheesh, free.
Yeah, you got to make a big decision. Like, oh, sheesh.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just do it, and there, boom.
Oh, shit.
All right. This next question is from Sir Harmonic. Do you guys have any foods that you like to eat when you're sick? Like mom would always make some tomato soup or ramen noodles.
When I'm sick.
Not really. Because like I hate chicken noodle soup because I associate it with being sick.
I associate it with throw up.
Or like Sprite.
Um,
I can't just drink Sprite because that's what I would always drink when I was sick.
really.
Yeah, same.
For me, my sick drink, I don't know why. Yellow lemonade, or not yellow lemonade,
Ew.
yellow Gatorade
Oh.
is for some reason the sick drink.
Well, Gatorade in
Best
general was helpful.
Gatorade in general, but specifically, like I had a hangover the other day because we were bar hopping. So fun, Jason. Anyway, Jason graduated, so we were bar hopping in his
Hey, way to go,
town.
Jason.
Awesome.
Congrats,
So good.
Jason.
He's getting
You didn't
hired by
invite me,
NASA
but, you know.
to make $75,000 a year, and I'm playing video games for my rent. Isn't it? Me and Jason live in separate lives right now. But anyway, yeah. And I was hungover the next morning, and yellow Gatorade. What a legend.
Flavor is that? Do you remember?
The yellow, it's like lemon berry.
Yellow.
Weird. It's like a weird.
Like mellow yellow, maybe, or something. No, that's a whole thing. Isn't
Hey,
it?
nothing like making the mellow yellow. You know what I mean?
Yellow.
Amen.
Okay, well, that's nice. Blue, what about you?
As far as foods go, I don't know.
I agree with the Gatorade. I do. I like electrolytes, bro. You know what I've tried that I think is going to be in my new sick rotation is the new Hydrate Gatorade.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Gatorlight.
Oh, or the new Advanced GG Hydration. I don't know if that's.
I haven't tried that. I
Lemonade.
try that.
I don't think it's out yet.
It is.
Is it out yet?
They have
Is it?
hydration out. Yeah.
Well, then guess what? You can use code TIME for 10% off.
I can't recommend it yet because I haven't tried it.
That actually will lock you out.
Does always make
so.
great products.
Let's go. Big.
I don't really have like that's just, I never had a specific one. It was just I had staples when I was sick to eat them, and I hate them all because I just only ever ate them when I was sick.
That's fair.
The only time, like the things I would like to eat was like when I just got enough energy back, and I was like, "Give me a burger, something with sustenance."
I don't really think about my sick food. I think about what is the first thing I'm going to eat when I'm not sick.
Ice is pretty solid too. When you're sick, just chewing on some ice.
I wouldn't know.
Good stuff.
That's what I do. I'll have crushed ice and then I'll just
pull ice chips just
up, and then like once the Gatorade's done, I just munch on the ice flavored Gatorade.
Connection, Blue.
Wait, the Gatorade flavored ice. That's
I know what you meant. Yeah, that was me once upon a time. Enjoy your jaws while they work.
Before my jaw could chew anything. All right, boys. We got one from Chives. Hey guys, I'm almost finished with Naruto and I'm interested in starting Dragon Ball. I'm wondering, should I skip the original and go straight to DBZ or not? Where did you guys start it?
I would say if you have the
Watch
option,
original.
I would watch original. I never did. I'm thinking of going back and doing it. Because obviously I started with Dragon Ball Z.
Two different
I think
shows.
you could start
on
with
VHS actually.
Like
Started
you
with
could start
VHS.
with Z for sure.
You could do
you
either,
can
but the
start with
thing
Z.
is, if they changed the name, they could be completely different series.
True.
Yeah,
Because
they really are.
The original
Like,
is slower
Goku
paced.
and Bulma are like two of the most lewd characters ever.
Well, that
That's very true.
good old pervy. What's
it's
his
very
face?
pervy.
But but it's also complete. There's no like power levels. It's all martial arts. That didn't become a meme until Z.
As a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, and then Z is just like it's
Hype as fuck.
completely own thing, right? I think they're both good, but
Don't think
I
too
enjoyed
hard
the
about Mr.
dichotomy
Popo.
of both. Oh yeah, true. There's some stuff there it doesn't age well, but you know,
Yeah.
what you can do.
Well, I just finished Mob Psycho, which was nice, and Spy Family is peak fiction, and it's the best anime of all time.
I've seen the
So
first
I'm
episode.
sitting on that for anime so far. That was
Oh,
kind of a
Joey.
joke. I'm still on JoJo.
Well, Joey, have no idea what that has to do with the question, so we're gonna move on to the next one.
It was an anime. I was just. I'm just
Derailing this,
inserting
Joey.
info.
God.
Hey, Joey, guess what? I'm just lightly tapping your nuts right now, dude. All right.
Thank you, Blue.
Just a little.
Put me back in line. I appreciate it.
I got you, bud. Yo, we got this next one from Estra. This one, actually, a very valid question for you, Joey. You could actually probably help with this one a lot. Any tips for people moving away to live in a different city for the first time? I got offered a great job near Dallas, and I've never left my hometown.
Well, yeah, I did move slightly away from my hometown for a while. But honestly, it depends on like your friend environment, your lifestyle. Like I have Discord, so I'm never really away from my friends. But I'll tell you what, when I was in Tennessee and different time zones, weirdest fucking thing in the world. 3-hour difference of a time zone ruined my life. So I would say if you are moving out of your city for a great job, that's big W. So I would say do it, experience it. I mean, hell, Dallas is like, $42 of rent. So, I mean, you're probably fine. If you absolutely are hating it, make that change. But if not, I think everybody should move away from their hometown, at least for a little bit, just to kind of see how you
some perspective.
I moved away from my small town in PA, and I will never go back. Black hole.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm into.
I moved away to Florida, and I think being on my own, I don't think I've ever learned more in my life than just being on my own. And so I would definitely recommend it. Moving to a different city, I know it's pretty crazy. I think the thing that helped me the most is like I don't have to bring everything to the new city. You know what I mean? Like my parents, they're gonna be like, "Hey, leave some of your stuff here," and I'll be like, "Wicked." You know what? I'm just gonna bring the things I need. I don't have to bring everything. Build a different life there, and then I can go grab some stuff as I come back and forth. But I learned so much when I lived on my own, away from everyone. So I would highly recommend it.
I think one of the biggest things too is you'll meet new people. I don't know, Estra, I don't know you or your situation with people, but when I originally moved out of like my original hometown and got out of that bubble and actually met people, I was like, oh my God.
Learned so much.
I was racist, like they're that okay, well I didn't hold on. But the point is I was like, I moved out of my bubble.
Racist
you got perspective.
And I was like,
you lived in the
no,
bubble.
I was racist.
I get it.
So it was like when I actually met people and like experienced different things that I had never experienced before, it absolutely changed the way I viewed the world. And I'm a way better person because of it. So the thing is, I'm not saying you have lived in that bubble, but if there's a chance that you can get away from just where you've lived your entire life, I would say do it 1,000% of the time. So that's my answer to that question.
Well,
and I am not racist. I don't know if that was came across.
I don't know.
Wrong.
I'm taking out the extra. Wow, I'm racist.
No. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add. If you, everyone's reasoning for moving is going to be different, so you have to figure out what will motivate you. But I think a lot of it too is the initial pain of it. But once you settle in, you'll realize like it just becomes your new normal. Think about it.
All right, boys.
Hard agree.
Last question of the podcast.
Ooh.
This one is from Gooboy. Howdy, everyone. What Pokemon region would you want to live in the most? For a refresher, there is Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, Kalos, Alola, and Galar.
Probably. I think I could use probably some Zen from the Alola region.
I was going to say...
very colorful. It's very nice.
I would probably pick Alola for 2 reasons. One, Alola has incredible public transportation.
That is true. They have buses.
I don't need a car.
Yeah.
2,
well, in most Pokemon regions.
And Alolan Vulpix.
Alolan Sandslash.
One of the GOAT Pokemon.
Yeah, I feel like
I would pick Alola.
I would go Alola too. It's just the easiest because the others are kind of just normal regions with a whole bunch of stuff. But
Alola's like a very forward society when you when you look at it.
Like a destination, as is.
Yeah.
So I think it's
you know what they say.
I'd
Alola,
be either between that or Kanto. Maybe I'd be
I would say Kanto number 2 because you get that bullet train. They can go to Johto.
Yeah, you're right next to another place.
That's
I mean, I feel like that's very centered.
I just think I would like to go to the beach, but I wouldn't want Cinnabar Island, and I wouldn't want wherever the Poison Gym is. That's just a depressing area.
True.
So
maybe Unova too. I like Unova a lot. So we'll see.
All right, boys. Well, I believe that wraps it up for this episode of the GG Over Easy podcast. Wow. What a podcast. What an adventure.
What a sode.
This really was the existential crisis
Best
/
one.
existential affirmation episode. What a roller coaster of emotions we went on. Boys, where can we find all of you? Joey?
You can find me every day trying to stream live on Twitch at twitch.tv/AboutTimeJoey.
Where can we
Or
find you? Oh.
you can find me at the Cosmic Couch Podcast coming soon.
Coming soon,
to a
NDA.
Spotify.
Also, Joey's
NDA.
OnlyFans at About
NDA is
Time.
not working too
Yep,
well.
it's in my links. It's actually in my links.
Oh, wait,
I'm not
really?
kidding. Yes, my OnlyFans is in my links. Exclamation point
Subbing.
links.
Got it. Okay, so Bless, where can we find you?
You can find me YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok at Blessious, Twitter at Kyle Blessing, and Instagram at Blessious Plays, or Dark Guck Airwolf on OnlyFans.
Really? There's something in my mind tells me you're not lying.
I never realized that.
You guys
That's
can find me
you?
everywhere. You guys can find me everywhere at My Mr. Fruit. And Mr. Fruit, where can we find you?
Tripping. Another dimension.
Wow, you didn't pass it back to Blue? You gotta pass that back, baby.
Well, and you can find Blue at Red Westlo. Red Eastlo.
That's right.
We will see you guys next week. Thank you, and thank you to Joey and Blessious, Kyle, for joining us. Appreciate you guys
for coming.
And we love you.
It was my pleasure to come.